Hi friends, it's Raina and Hazel, and we're here to read you a story today. Okay, bye-bye Hazel. Today is the first day of April, which is a very springy month, and on the first day of April, we do a little trick called April Fool's Day. It's only on the first day of the month, and this is a story about Arthur's April Fool, and it's by the author Mark Brown. Remember, the author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. The author writes the words. And the title is the name of the story. Let's see what the story is going to be about. We see Arthur on the cover. I wonder what's going to happen. All right, let's see. Arthur's April Fool. It was the last day of March, and the joke shop was full of people getting ready for April Fools. Arthur and Buster tried out everything. Buster bought the sneezing powder, and Arthur got a fake telescope. Whoever looked through it had a black eye. But Arthur didn't feel like playing jokes. He kept thinking about Blinky Barnes. "Who is Blinky Barnes?" asked Buster. "Picture King Kong. Now double it," said Arthur. "He keeps threatening to punch me out." Is that nice? No. The next day, Arthur was practicing his magic tricks with Buster and Francine for the April Fool's assembly. "Hey, shrimp!" A giant shadow covered them. "I'll show you a trick," said Binky Barnes, and he grabbed Arthur's favorite pen and he put it in his pocket. "Now you see it, now you don't," said Binky. "Hey, watch it," said Arthur, trying to look brave. "Why don't you make me?" said Binky, and he walked away. "Pick on someone your own size," said Francine. "Like Godzilla." "Wow," said Buster, "you were right. He's going to pulverize you." That means he's going to beat him up. How does Arthur feel? What does he look like? Let's see. That night at dinner, Arthur hardly ate anything. He didn't finish his cheeseburger. He didn't even want chocolate cream pie. "What's the matter, Arthur?" asked his father. "He's worried about getting pulverized," said DW. "Maybe he's been watching too many outer space movies," said his mother. Later on, DW barged into Arthur's room. "Good night, Mr. Universe." "Haven't you ever heard of knocking?" asked Arthur. "After you get pulverized, can I use your room?" she asked. "Beat it, DW." When Arthur finally fell asleep, he had nightmares. The next morning, Francine offered Arthur a cookie. "Yuck," said Arthur. "This tastes like soap and toothpaste." "April Fool," said Francine. But Arthur was too worried to laugh. "I'll never remember my magic tricks for the assembly." "Calm down," said Buster. "I'll be your assistant. I'll help you if you get stuck." Arthur felt better. He could count on Buster. But just before the assembly, Buster got caught putting sneezy powder on Mr. Ratburn's desk. And instead of going to the assembly, Buster went to the principal's office. "Sneezing powder. Achoo. I'll blow it for sure without Buster," thought Arthur. He walked into the auditorium, and who was sitting in the front row? Binky Barnes. This was going to be worse than he thought. Arthur worried while Mr. Ratburn read people's minds. He worried while Francis and Muffy did shadow tricks. and he worried while the chorus sang that old black magic. Finally, it was his turn. Oh, for my first trick, said Arthur, I need a volunteer. Binky Barnes jumped on the stage. Surprise, Pip, squeak, he whispered, and Arthur gulped. Ooh. Arthur asked Binky Barnes to tear up a sheet of paper and put it into the magic hat. He said the magic words and waved his magic wand to make the paper whole again. But rabbits came out instead. Uh-oh. Everybody laughed and Arthur took a bow, and by mistake flowers fell out of his sleeve. Binky Barnes laughed harder than anyone. Then Arthur had an idea. He winked at Francine. For my next trick, I will saw this young man in half. Binky stopped laughing and took a step back. My saw, please, said Arthur. And Binky turned pale. That means he's scared. And now the bucket to collect the blood. Binky screamed. He stepped back again, this time right off the stage, and everyone laughed, even Mr. Ratburn. After the assembly, Arthur stopped Binky in the hall. What's the matter, Binky? You left before I could show you my best trick. No thanks, said Binky. Are you sure? It lets you see things you've never seen before, said Arthur. Really? Said Binky. He grabbed the telescope and he pointed it at Francine. I don't see anything. Of course not, said Arthur. You have to know the secret words. Tell me, said Binky. I can't, said Arthur. I have to write them down backwards. Do you have a pen? Sure, here, said Binky. Now, Arthur wrote the words. Now go home, hold the paper up to the mirror, and you'll be able to read the secret words. Thanks, Twerp, said Binky. And he ran out the door. Boy, that's your best trick yet, said Francine. You didn't get pulverized and you made Binky Barnes disappear. What did you write? April Fools. The end. I hope you guys have a great April Fools and don't play too many tricks. See you later.